Hello, Detroit fans. I'm actually already back with, based on this Patrick Kane signing. I kind of feel like I didn't give too much good, um, enough like kind of facts and things in the first video of this Patrick Kane sign because I was like going off on pretty much the story part on why it doesn't bother me why Patrick Kane is now a Red Wing based on like the teams of hatreds I said. To me, I apologize for that. Please forgive me. That kind of sounded dumb. I think I was just pretty much really excited all day long and just my mind is just blown right now and just had to like bring random things out. So I kind of actually want to get to the point now based on pretty much explaining the real things here about this deal. Obviously, I already said it was basically Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat are a really very close friendship and had such a dynamic duel in Chicago. I watched a couple of like great hype videos of Kane and DeBrincat a little bit ago, and I'm just thinking to myself, all right, buckle up, baby, because this is what we got now in Detroit, the reunited Cat and Pat. That's what I'm calling them now for the Red Wings. The Cat to the Pat, and they score. The Pat to the Cat. What another great cat trick by the cat. So it's just getting a little exciting for me now. As you can see, my emotions of being funny here. But now, you see, a lot of the NHL fans, including Red Wing fans, don't think this is working. This really doesn't work out for Detroit. We can't really change their feelings. If they think that this is a wrong move, then NHL fans out there and other Red Wing fans, just suck it up your ass, okay? Because I basically already said this in the first video that was the past already, what Patrick Kane did. A lot of Red Wing fans, including me, we hated what Patrick Kane has done when he played with the Blackhawks and Red Wings played against them. But move on, suck it up, okay? This guy, he's no longer a Blackhawk. He is a Detroit Red Wing now, okay? I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that just like, okay, at this point, I'm tired of fucking losing. I'll accept anyone at this point. Now, I know I said I would not accept Sidney Crosby, Brad Marchand, Nikita Kucherov, Corey Perry. That's a different story. Just forget about that because to me, they're not the same type of play style that Kane does, those assholes. But it's just that you gotta move on. I mean, think about it. This is basically just another deja vu of Chris Chelios all over again. I mean, were you all saying this and bitching about the same kind of thing and not comfortable when Ken Holland signed Chris Chelios? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, are you gonna... And now you're bitching about this and what it turned out to be one hell of a deal by Ken Holland to bring Chris Chelios to Hockey Town? Did you fucking bitch about when Ken Holland brought Brett Hall, and I believe Brett Hall and the Blues were also enemies with the Red Wings back in the day? So how many more times are you just gonna fucking whine about this when this is actually like a pretty much 90, maybe 85, maybe 90% of looking like a turnaround kind of deal thing? Like, is this like the thing Red Wings needed? Like another boost in a dynamic duel? Like maybe Larkin and DeBrincat we thought would actually be a good duel. But Patrick Kane and, yes, a lot of people are going to be bitching, we need defense. Okay, I understand that. Yes, we may have some bum defense like Ben Sherratt. Like, he's nothing really. We may have some, or, Jeff Petrie. I mean, he's a nice guy. I kind of like him actually being in Detroit. I really don't want him gone. I want him to retire as a Red Wing because obviously you should know why. He's from Michigan. He always loved the Red Wings. His father played for the Detroit Tigers. So it's kind of fun for me seeing him as a Red Wing, even though he really doesn't do much. But um, it's just we gotta start respecting them more. I mean, give them a chance. It takes time. A lot of times to be with a new team to get your rhythm and game going. Sometimes I've seen it take 5 years for a new player. I mean, like for instance, say Philip Zadina, he may be a fucking bum and wanting to get more ice time, but that's basically probably maybe because and why he wasn't all that. Maybe he just didn't have the right line mates and teammates and right organization, right fit, right team for him. I mean, to me, he's still not doing shit in San Jose, but that's basically very common in sports because you look at, for instance, Justin Hall. Every Toronto fan was going like, "Oh, thank God he's gone," and then every Detroit fan was like, "What the fuck are you doing, Yzerman? This guy is a bum. He's pointless. He's worthless. He's not even gonna help us on our defense." Oh, NHL fans, Detroit just got screwed there. Believe it or not, he's actually been a really good surprise and has pretty been one of our maybe top three, I'd say, best defensemen so far this season. I think Jake Wallman and Shane Gostisbehere and Justin Hall are pretty much doing really, really well right now. It sucks Jake Wallman's injured at the moment, but Justin Hall, he has really proven us Red Wing fans wrong. And I'll be completely honest with you, I did not act like those assholes out there because, again, I'm not one of those people that be like that. I give people a chance, I move on, and I waited to see if Justin Hall was actually going to be a bum like they were saying, or is it going to be one of those things where maybe Toronto was just not the right fit and not right line mates to get a good play style for him and not good enough coaching either. That could also be the same thing for Zadina. But obviously it seems to be really good on really good signs so far. A 3-year deal, Justin Hall. I anticipate even more better improvement for him as a Red Wing. And, obviously he's liked a lot of the kind of the way. This is the same thing with Patrick Kane. He's why he also signed with the Red Wings. He liked the kind of pass Coach Malone does, and obviously, he really loves. He's been Patrick King's been watching how the Red Wings playing. He really has, and he's heard all the information he's heard about when he's been on the phone with Yzerman and meeting with him for signing a contract. Obviously, he might have liked the right direction or liked the direction and path this team was going, and probably wanting to helping and obviously making a easy decision to re-sign with his best friend and potentially bringing this Detroit team back into the playoffs for first time in 7 years. I can actually see it happening. I hope it does. I don't want to jinx too much, but I mean, when you're at an elite all-star legend hockey player like Patrick Kane, I mean, things can turn things around that quickly in this league. I'm telling you. I mean, it's just it just happens. I mean, they say he was gonna bring a cup to New York. He's actually had problems when he was playing with the Rangers, and it wasn't the right fit. And I've heard from other people, and I agree, things didn't go so well. So, and yes, he had Artemi Panarin there. That's another good friend of his, but not as much as the Brinket, to be honest with you. and I really think he's gonna be. If Patrick Kane or if Steve Eiserman did not believe Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat is can still be at a high level dynamic duel with each other, then he would have never signed him. Okay, Steve Eiserman is not a freaking lunatic. He is not out of his mind like we all think he has been or think he is. I don't. I'm trusting him, especially because I know what he's done in Tampa. Eiserman's not one of those managers that are a fucking joke that you see in the past on other teams. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't really like Ken Holland. I don't see why. I mean, I never really had a problem with him. You shouldn't. I mean, he built a team, to help us contend and win cups for 25. Well, we didn't win in the 2010 decade thing, but I mean, we've been making the playoffs for 25 years because of the help from Ken Holland with how he built this organization of the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, and y'all are talking out of your ass at him. I mean, if there's anything that he has done that is like upset Red Wing fans and other NHL fans, on this video, on your comments below, like, please, like, respectfully explain what the problem is with Ken Holland. I mean, obviously, I'm hearing things that he's pretty much a problem in Edmonton. I don't think so. I think their goaltending really sucks, especially their defense, okay? I mean, I've seen it in the playoffs and since I'm also a Vegas Golden Knight fan, and by the way, I love my Detroit Red Wings and Golden Knights. Exactly the same, just as much. Okay, I'm not a bandwagon, just so you're aware. I'm a person that likes to have a fan of more than one team, and I am also with football, the Lions and Raiders and Dolphins actually, because my mom's a Dolphins fan. But it's enough about that. It's just their defense. I seen them in the playoffs against Golden Knights. They were not keeping it out of their zone as well as Vegas did against them. They just weren't. So I'm like, this team's got a defense problem. And what I noticed, now this is the part where I can potentially see what might be Ken Holland is the problem in Edmonton, is because he didn't do shit in the offseason. Didn't he only sign like Sam Gagner, a former Red Wing and former Edmonton Oiler again, reuniting? I mean, what the hell does Gagner do? So, he didn't solve Edmonton's problems there. So, obviously that makes sense if that's what his problem is. If that is, please tell me and let me know. But I never had hatred towards the guy. I think he's done a great job in the past of building a great organization for the Red Wings. And, same thing I heard about. Yeah, it's okay. Enough about that, but pretty much the last thing I'm gonna say about this sign on the Patrick Kane. The Detroit Red Wings, we seem to be a very underestimated, underrated, sleeping on, and a very disrespected team in this league. I mean, if you go back to the other video again, I said NHL all whole summer, and NHL fans expected Ottawa to be where we are in the standings right now, and they're last in the East. I actually, if I remember correctly, playoffs Ottawa. I mean, are you gonna keep saying that every year because you said that the year before when you signed Alex DeBrincat and Claude Giroux, and now you think you're just making the playoffs because you just signed Vladimir Tarasenko, and they got a good young core, they do, but I mean, obviously there's still some kind of issues going on there that's not helping Ottawa be in contention mode at this point. I'm starting to think maybe they have a coaching issue, maybe a goaltending issue. I kind of figured maybe their defense was pretty solid. I don't know. That's not our problem. Fuck Ottawa, because they're no doubt in my mind going to be probably an epic rivalry with Detroit, and it already is. But I'm just saying in playoffs. I think Buffalo still has a shot at making the playoffs, and because they're in a better position than Ottawa is. So someone from last year that made the playoffs in the East is not. Can't say who at the moment. I really think, I mean, it's pretty much likely Boston, Rangers, and Panthers are making the playoffs. I wonder what's up with Carolina at the moment. I don't see Philadelphia at all staying where they are very long, but I'm kind of shocked on the Capitals' performance lately. They've been getting some wins, and they've had some losses. I don't think they're gonna make it either. All their goal is to let Ovechkin be the most goal scorer ever now, so they don't have the hunger anymore. But and why we're so disrespected, underestimated. It seems to be that way with every Detroit team at this moment. And I noticed in the whole league and NHL and social media, mostly all focusing on Buffalo and Ottawa. Okay, I get it. Yes, they're a good young teams with a lot of good prospects, but so are Detroit teams. Okay, this is basically like the same thing that happened last year in the NFL with the Lions. When they started, the Detroit Lions are for real now. They're starting to. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen them in my life have like a long winning streak like that. To make a run for the wild card they were doing, and last year they were all just saying, this is just some kind of joke or something that instantly just made the Lions all that. And now that after getting rid of DeAndre Swift, he was actually my favorite new Lions player, and that was probably going to be Aiden Hutchinson. And getting rid of Jamal Williams, I've heard rumors that a lot of Lions fans and NFL fans saying now Detroit is nothing. Okay, there are two Detroit general managers in Detroit organizations of sports that obviously know what they're doing now. Okay, Brad Holmes just turned the Lions organization and franchise around into a monster. Okay, I mean, are you gonna keep not thinking they're a Super Bowl contender? Because they're a Super Bowl contender now for the first time since '91, but they did not have a good, better team than they do now. And now people are just really disrespecting the Red Wings just because they're not consistent. I mean, it's obvious, I've seen it, but we're still making sure we're keeping ourselves getting points by at least, trying to fight to go to overtime. Okay, you need to. Those points are very valuable. When we lose in overtime, it can help like when we try to do it in the wild card race. If you've noticed, we're like the only team to beat the Boston Bruins twice this year. We swept the New Jersey Devils, and we've been really, really being good teams. And those are huge, very massive wins that can potentially give you a good shot in the playoffs. I mean, I don't think I've seen Buffalo or Ottawa really beat good teams that much as the Red Wings did. Okay, so there's something's up here. Okay, with Steve Yzerman. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, and I've heard really great rumors and great things and bright things about the Detroit Tigers' new general manager. that, and I can actually see the Tigers in the hunt for a wild card next year too. I haven't seen them have that good of a season last year in baseball in a long time. So I can see them even better next year. I really do. But this ain't about baseball. But I can tell you, I really do believe starting now, general managers in the Detroit sport teams and have really about to make our city a contender city again, and it's really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. You should too. I mean, obviously, like I said back a little while ago when I said Kane really liked the direction this team was going and must have a lot of faith in that he can possibly make the playoffs with this team and have a good run. Okay, I'm sure everyone in our locker room believes we have a good group, and they do, and have a lot of faith to have a possible. And that's what the Lions do. They have a lot of confidence, the Lions, and they're using that confidence every game. And the Red Wings are trying to do that too. And if they play like that, and if they just play defense and just do their kind of game style, they can beat anyone in this league. It's that simple. Yes, it's a very hard league. It's very, very hard league. But the Red Wings are really turning it around. Okay, so it's really starting to get annoying with the sleeping on Detroit thing because, I mean, again, this year, with NFL fans thinking it was just a joke with the Lions last year, now they're all in, like, insanity shock at the moment. Because when was the last time you seen the Lions second in the NFC? Okay, the Red Wings, they're third in the division. They're actually most likely going to have more than 30 points before Christmas. And I can't even remember when that has the last time that's happened. So, obviously, that's another big difference. Any other jokes, Red Wing haters, and other NHL fans you're going to give us to sleep on? Because things are different in Detroit organizations right now. That's all I'm going to say, because obviously there's a lot of faith in this group right now. And that is why they signed Patrick Kane. And maybe one more thing I'll just say, if they don't have a good shot at making the playoffs and they're out of the wild card race by the deadline, obviously they can trade him for something in a good return. And at that point, when I said Red Wing fans are bitching about defense, if we're in the good playoff spot making where we look like we're going to be a playoff team, then that's the point, or then that's the part I think Eisman will look for a defense good player. Say, like, just someone that is a little bit solid. Maybe we'll even bring up Simone Evanson. I heard he is not quite ready yet, but pretty much around the corner. But it's gonna be interesting. Maybe we'll trade Ben Sherrod or something for another better defenseman. Yzerman can always rob teams. You don't want to make a deal with Steve Yzerman. And that's what's good about this Patrick Kane sign, too, is we didn't have to give up anybody. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments below.